Hey guys, welcome back to... What? No, stop it. Xuan Yuan 7 on the Series Shiji. Just recorded a video that got eaten by the internet, so I'm annoyed. Or eaten by my recorder. So I got back to where I was, which wasn't that hard thanks to autosaves. This game is pretty generous with autosaves. But I'm still annoyed. I had to do this puzzle over again. I can now hold X to skip the puzzle. I don't know if there's any penalty for that. And that's what happens when King goes, "Oh, you suck!" And you tell him, "Oh, no, I just need another second." So apparently you don't have to do these puzzles, but I don't know if you lose anything for not completing them. I couldn't do it fast enough to avoid having it tell me, you can skip if you need to, white boy. Or, just, shitty player. But anyway, hoping this video doesn't collapse and die, let's replay through this. For me, I'll be replaying through this whole thing again. And vaguely pretending I don't know what's about to happen.
哦，我知道了，是这枚零件错位，只要把它扳正。
Little pieces misaligned. Boop. You broke it. I had an experience, similar experience just the other day with the, I've got this old nav thing, an old, it's a Garmin. I used to have a TomTom that worked the same way. You have to stick this thing on the inside of your windshield, and you stick it on, yeah, whatever, but it broke. I had to fix it. Because I twisted something up. Anyway. What's done is done. He seems accepting of this. He's some kind of bird spirit, I guess. And I think he's supposed to be funny, actually.
上山？
对，去上山，找一群自称墨者的家伙，让他们来修。
小白的徒子徒孙叫做墨者。
Moist. I guess they made that pun work for us in English by having it be moist, like you would mow moss. But as bad as his jokes are, hers seem to be worse. Moist.
墨者？是什么样的人？
Not Mojo, not the member of the zombies who keeps his eyes closed. And hangs out with Turk and Blade and, Thor, I guess was leader of the zombies. But yeah, he's not here to tell us about Moas, he's here to tell us to find them. Might be useful to know what they're like, though.
不知多久，大王，可否先传我修复躯体之法？
就你个傻鬼，连最简单的仙术都
A brat like you doesn't know how to read the subtitles when they appear over her brightly colored outfit.
去上山吧，找人来修好门。本大王亲自
She's got some nice bows tied in her outfit there.
好，我们这就出发，前往上山。
Well, there we go. Now we have a story.
是啊，我和阿兄一起，说不定还能帮上点什么忙。
Yeah, she's not just gonna hang out here.
你有吃过烤乳猪吗？
吃过，
香吗？
很香，远远都闻得到。
I can smell from miles and miles.
它以园林之身行走，在各地妖魔眼中，无异于美味的烤乳猪，远远都闻得到。
Yo.
那该如何是好？
小样头确实不该与你分离太远。啊，有了！
So he just explained why she can't come and then why she has to come.
旁边那个机关人，抓着符鬼的动力就可以。
There's some kind of stone-based robot we need to put our sister's soul into.
你先随便抓只符鬼来吧。
大王说的倒是轻巧，我连符鬼长什么样都没见过。
忘了，轩辕界没几只符鬼，比你们
He always forgets that spirits are rare in the Xuan Yuan realm. Or elementals, rather.
鬼神祭坛又是什？
你这小鬼问题真多，去了就
Stop asking expository questions. This is a Mass Effect. I'm not going to cycle through this dialogue with you
我们这
infinitely.
就出发。
路上小心啊！我是说，帮本大王开门之前，你们两个可别死。
See, it's cute. The little spirit guy does seem to care about us, but then corrects himself to act evil. So I'm not sure if he's evil or not. And then we have, this was weird. I didn't understand what was happening here, but we're going into like cartoon world and
大小姐何必如此？不如咱们去找找那小子和丫头，大家一
sounds
起
like
想
that's
想办法。
His Highness in a robot body
也许大家会有办法
with。some lady.
肯定没问题的。 别太早放弃才是。哎，怎么突然变得好黑呀？大小姐，你在哪儿啊？
是呀，
There's some lady who betrays him and imprisons him with magic, and is then attacked by demons. But she's carving him up pretty good. So I'm not sure what this is about. Is this something that happened in a previous game, perhaps? We're not supposed to have to know the previous games. Honestly, don't know if we're supposed to know about that from a previous game, or if it's supposed to be mysterious to us. But anyway, 7 years later. Xuan Yuan. Hachi Machi? What did he say? Anyway, Xihao Yuan 7 years later. Mo studies geometry. Yeah. That's groovy, baby. So I'm not even trying to read this stuff because it always just wants to disappear on me, but yeah, Wang Mang is apparently a pretty smart guy. He's just also a usurper. I'm not sure how much time we got left in the video because I forgot to see what time it was when we started.
We got quite a bit of time
left, actually.
门都坏了。
哎，仙儿，你看，以后没人可以说咱们家徒四壁了。
What?
啊，
咱们家除了4面墙壁，还有满地的杂物呢。
Yeah, his jokes kind of suck.
哎，
I preferred my mowing joke.
看看家里还有什么东西可以带上，然后就出发吧。
嗯。
Alright, pick up necessities. That's an important quest that we're on now that involves walking around the room. Acquired a couple things. Elysium. Unlock Elysium. You can build and upgrade workshops. You move equipment. And see this one. We've got Weapon Workshop, which we can't do anything with yet. Harness Workshop. Increase the experience when feeding harnessed souls. Doesn't actually make harnesses. Fusion Lab. They will unlock with the story progress. What does it do, though? You're not telling us what it does. An armor workshop. So we got armor, Woppets, experience when feeding harnessed souls, accessories, and then some plot type of deal. We were given precisely what we needed to upgrade this, and hence it is now level 1. We can't enter these things until they're upgraded to at least level 1. And here you can see that we don't have the goods to do it. In theory, we could be building Flame Void Crystals, which will increase burn resistance, or a thing that will give us defense 3. It doesn't really seem that interesting otherwise. And that's all we could do with it at level 1. VMC in particular doesn't seem that exciting. But I'm sure they look pretty... The graphics on them look really cool once they're fully leveled. Oh, doubt about it. So we come over here. Now equipment. Unlock character, you can now change equipment. So we have the unnamed sword, a long sword belonging to Taishi Xiang, gifted to him by a patron in his youth. Despite extensive service, it has been kept in good repair, thus sharp as new. That's what we've got. But for appearance, we could switch to the sealed sword, peculiar sword that holds mysterious and great power. One can fail to grasp its true strength and master, even with master swordsmanship. or the Xuan Yuan Sword of Han. Forged as a Han sword. Imitate the appearance of Yuan sword, serial number 1029. However, they're not actually replacing the sword. That's just for appearance. Armor, we got the horse scarf. Coarse, roughly made scarf. We don't have any replacements for it. Our first accessory slot, we could fill in with a sapphire, which we just acquired. Piece of jade, small enough to be carried around. Gives us attack 6. With a Kong Tong seal. A jade seal unearthed from Kong Tong mount. Just a regular jade seal without any power. But it gives us health 10 and attack 10. And then the gray jade, health 5. A stone given to Taishi Xiang by his mother, which he wore around his neck. That's nice, but we can do better. Attack 6. The stone our mother gave us, we can still have it. It just won't be in an active equipment slot. We can also change Hunter's attire appearance to being a uniform of elite investigator. Elite investigators are those who obtain a certain amount of knowledge and technique. This outfit will be handed to them when they earn the title. And that's pretty cool, because it actually changes our appearance in the world too, not just that screen. I don't suppose it would really be that useful if it only changed it in this screen. But I think I'll go with the Hunter's attire, which doesn't get a description. And even though our sister is a spectral spirit, she will still prevent us from leaving the room before we finish this quest. Long way, so we should travel light. Yeah, that thing looks like it would really weigh you down. I believe that is some kind of clockwork toy that was made by our friend from our childhood. But we might learn more about it later. As a matter of fact, we will. It's a matter of whether this crashes and I need to record this video for a 3rd time. We picked up Herbal Elixir ×1. Well, now our sister has moved. But we still can't get out of the room without
阿兄，我们带他一起走好不好？
She wants us to take it with her.
搞不好到了商山。
Yeah, I want to point out, in the live first time through, before they got eaten and destroyed by my recorder, I was saying, well, we're going to go find these clockwork guys, so maybe we should bring some clockwork with them, like right before she
人
says
家
the
墨
same
者不
thing.
让进山，大王不是说墨者都会机关术吗？拿着这个机关玩具，说不定可以当做信物什么的。
好，就依你。
Oh, actually, no, I didn't say that. I said, that's a good point, and then Taishi Xiang said, that's a good point. So I was like, that's what it was. Anyway, now we have her journal, and this is how I spent most of the video that's been lost. We'll look at inventory real quick. Clockwork Toys, extra Clockwork Toy Chu Hong gave Taishi Xiang as a birthday gift. Orb of Harmony increases stamina by 10 when carrying. And ingredients, inferior jades, purities can be seen, blah blah blah. But I read through everything in the journal, and that took most of the video. So I'll do it again, and just hope that I don't fail this, or this rather, not that I fail, but that the video will be eaten by my recorder a 2nd time, and I'll have to do this again. So it doesn't look like there's that much. Well, actually, no. Oof, there's quite a bit. Travels. Characters. Well, if each of these characters are important as the ones we've met so far, it's not going to be that big a deal. But anyway, this is actually Taishi Xiang's journal. So I'll be reading it in my Taishi Xiang voice. Chang'an. I only know of Chang'an from Brother's Tales. He told me that unlike the Timbersong village where we live, Chang'an is a prosperous city far from Mount Yidi. It is populated by nobles and court officials living in opulent, sprawling mansions. Our family used to live here next to Tongxi, on the north side of the city. East Market, a bustling bazaar, saw caravans come and go every day, trading in all kinds of exotic products. During the festival, visitors would come from all over, and Brother would accompany Father to greet those honorable guests. I always asked Brother why we came to Timbersong Village, but he never answered. Maybe I will get my answers once we reach Chang'an. Timbersong Village. We have been living in Timbersong Village, a village at the foot of Mount Yidi, ever since I have memories. I have never been in the mountain myself, but everyone in the village lives off the mountain. From it, we hunted animals and gathered herbs, and we were self-sufficient. The old folks always say that our village is protected by the spirits of Mount Yidi, and is a land of plenty, which is why we get to live our lives peacefully. Still, if you ask me, I just don't want to stay here all the time. Sometimes I wonder what lies beyond those mountains. Characters. Hong. Of all the stories Brother told me, my favorites were the ones about Hong, his childhood friend in Chang'an. She was smart and brave. JG has predicted that she will appear in the game as an adult, and she'll be super hottie. She was smart and brave, even knew how to make clockwork trinkets to fight off bullies. Whenever I asked Brother if she was really real, he'd just say, "She's real if you believe she is." Yeah, that sounds like a bunch of crap. King. The king lived in the Elysium scroll. It has been at least a decade since he and Brother first met, yet he has never spoken about himself, where he came from, or how he ended up a prisoner. He has only ever said he was stationed here, or ignored our questions, and pestered Brother to let him out, saying he'd tell us later. Brother doesn't trust him and fears he might be deceiving us, so he's only ever freed him when he's needed the king's help. Well, then he's freed him, so what the hell? Brother once told me the king revealed to him 2 secret techniques for activating the scroll, in exchange for unlocking part of the mechanism that holds him, which makes me think the king is no ordinary prisoner. In the end, though, I've never found him useful for anything other than chit-chat. Even then, he does go on a bit. I'd go mad if I had to listen to his ramblings for more than an hour. So he never talks about himself, but he rambles. Got it. He's like Tucker Carlson. He won't talk about his own past because he's the son of a frozen food heiress and has never worked a day in his life. But he will ramble. Dad. Father was a court official, known for his literacy and upstanding character. He was a high-ranking bureaucrat and never bowed to the power of authority. But with Brother and me, he was always very gentle. Mom. When I was little, Brother would often sing me a song when I was sad. Pale Moonlight, Longest Night. He learned the song from Mother. She used to sing it to me when I cried. She was good at taking care of people. Whenever he had guests, she always oversaw the kitchen personally and made sure they were satisfied with their meals. Taishi Xiang. Brother almost always had a happy-go-lucky attitude, even if his jokes rarely made me laugh. He's like, Adam Sandler in that way. However, if we ever tried to scold me, he seemed to turn to a very different, serious person. He was the best hunter around these parts. These here parts, I said in the last video. The video that was lost, rather. With his sword on his back, no monster in Mount Yidi could touch him. When we were little, we were looked after by an old doctor in the village. He taught Brother many things, like how to hunt, identify herbs, and how to trade with other villagers. He taught us how to trade. For each lesson, he taught us about, trade barter exchange. For each lesson, he taught us how to, find the specialty trade good that a species wants and bring it to their area to, win them over. For each lesson, if you'll stop interrupting, he only took herbs as payment, and Brother was very grateful for his lessons. One day, the doctor suddenly left the village, and nobody ever found out where he went. Maybe he was a guardian spirit from the mountain and came down here to help us. I might say, oh wow, it sounds like that could be an interesting thing that is revealed later, but I have a feeling, considering that he doesn't have his own character page, that, no, we're never going to find out anything about this doctor. That's just my guess. Me! There's all the other WWE superstars, and then there's me. I was a fragile child, always coughing, more so when the weather turned cold. One time I even collapsed and scared the hell out of Brother. My condition prevented me from venturing too far from our house. I could only go as far as the village, but still Brother gave me a bamboo whistle, and said if I was ever in danger, I should blow it and he would come for me. After all these years of taking my medicine... Yeah, now she's going to take her own medicine. My sickness still hasn't left me, which only makes me hate it more, or think that the medicine, might want to change it up and try something else. But Brother says I should keep taking it, and maybe one day I'll be cured. I hope he's right. I would love to travel the world like Sister Hong. Soul Sister Hong. Fu. Fu is our family steward, and he served the household for a long, long time. I heard that he was moved to the tears when I was born. From time to time, brother still speaks of him. Mo Huang. The general and his soldiers said they had come to capture monsters and needed a guide. Because the villagers were also afraid of facing the monsters, this task eventually fell to brother. Next time I saw him, his eyes had a haunted, frightened look. He had the expression of a man who cared for nothing but slaying monsters. Haunted and frightened? He did look a bit weird. His eyes looked like kind of oddly unfeeling and weird. Ko Yuan. The captain speaks with a crafty tone. Always sounds like he is up to something. But whatever he's an inscrutable Chinese. Sorry. If I haven't explained the inscrutable Chinese thing, I'm sure I've done it elsewhere on the channel, but it's a phrase that I heard on a BBC Sports. Oh, what the hell? The short version, without getting into why I was watching it in Ireland and what happened with the Irish runner, which is a sad story of its own. Which maybe if people want to hear about in the comments, I'll tell. But yeah, it was in Ireland many years ago, and the race was being covered by BBC Sports because an Irish runner, and the BBC will cover Ireland as well. Their sports, much like American Olympics coverage, will always show the sports where America's expected to do well. If a UK or Irish athlete is expected to do well, the UK sports will cover it and be, But Irish person, the hell, I'll tell the full version of the story. This Irish runner was a women's track and field event, and she was supposed to win, was highly expected to win. She dropped out of the race, DNF, just ran off of the course crying, like she was falling behind the other runners, and she ran off the course crying. And later on, it was being said that she had severe dehydration and from diarrhea, which is sad, but kind of embarrassing to hear. But the thing that struck me about it is that, like, the next day in all the local Irish newspapers and stuff, they had these full-page color ads from Heinz saying, because they were her sponsor, saying congratulations, and then her name, because I don't remember what her name was. You done us proud. Because they were assuming that either she would win a medal, and if she won gold, it would be great. You've done us proud. And if she won anything else, it would be like a positive message to this person who'd gone out and hadn't won gold, but they'd still done well. But DNF because of diarrhea was not what Heinz, whoever did the ad purchasing in Ireland for Heinz was probably not expecting her to DNF due to diarrhea when they purchased ads to print in the next morning's newspapers full color saying, "You done us proud." But anyway, why did I bring this up? Because the BBC Sports Irish woman was expected to win, which is why the race was being covered live on British television. Instead, a Chinese runner was winning, and they said her name, and they said, because it's female track and field, so this Chinese woman was running and won the race, and the BBC commentator said, "And there she goes. She's pulling out ahead of all of them. The inscrutable Chinese pulling out the victory." And that phrase struck me ever since, the inscrutable Chinese. Because not only was it fucking racist, but we're me and the fam were looking at each other like, what's inscrutable about it? There was no trick involved. She ran faster than the other women in the race. Anyway, this guy here, there's something in his demeanor. He's up to something. He's crafty. He's an inscrutable Chinese. But whatever it had an Irish accent. It was actually a British commentator. But whenever he and brother talked about me, I thought I saw a change in his demeanor. Was it sympathy? No, he's a horn dog. He's into underage girls. Whether he's good or bad, I don't know anymore. But I hope they have a safe journey into the mountain. That's true. They did. There was a little moment there where he gave us some money and said that we should take our sister to see a good doctor. So he might have some kind of little crush on Taishi Xiang. Anyway, monsters. Direwolf. Direwolf's the most common monster seen in Mount UD. Recently, there have been a surge in their numbers, and tales of villagers being attacked by them are frequent. Much like their canine counterparts, direwolves. My niece loves about direwolves, by the way. Also hunt in packs. Is it true that direwolves are like dogs? They only hunt in packs. But are more aggressive than wild dogs. They will pursue their prey for as long as it takes to bring them down. This fact haunts me every time I hear it. Once a direwolf begins thrashing, it will never stop chasing you. And Mistwalker. I never actually saw it. I only remembered the sharp coldness as the darkness crept around me, making me shiver with fear. Before I could react, it was gripping me by the back of my neck, its weapon deep inside my waist. With the dark mist lurching over my shoulder as though attempting to drown me, I blew the bamboo whistle, and then I was in Elysium. Artifacts, the Elysium Scroll. There's quite a few of these, actually. A mystical scroll with the unknown origin. Brother only knows that it was entrusted to him by Father. It is written in an ancient script I've never managed to decipher. Once activated, the power of the scroll bestows many astounding abilities, such as enhanced tracking abilities, and even the power to slow time so that everyone appears to move like snails. You know, in shells. Brother uses this boon to hunt, but he's never caught so much in his life. Brother uses this boon to hunt. He's never caught so much in his life. There's a word missing there. Brother said to keep the scroll secret and rarely uses it in front of others so as not to draw any unnecessary attention. Satchel. For as long as I can remember, Brother has been making me satchels using all kinds of sweetgrass. He always offers me replacement when my current one loses its scent. Sometimes he teaches me about the unique smell each herb possesses. I learned that some smell strange on their own, but pleasant when put together. He's never told me why, though. Why that is, though. Yeah, it seems like she can't leave the house very much, or go very far because she's sick, and I think the deal is that she is the daughter of these loyalists to the old Han, and therefore she's being protected, but, and if she's sickly, I guess she needs to be protected, but yeah, like, herbcraft would be a good thing for her to learn, I would think. Anyway, bamboo whistle. Brother made this bamboo whistle for me while I was trapped in our house by a pack of wild dogs. He told me to keep it on me at all times. It's not exactly the loudest whistle in the world, but somehow Brother always hears it. Maybe it just happens to be nearby when I've used it. I'll need to test that out. It's kind of cute. Clockwork Toys. I've had this clockwork bird since I was a child. Brother told me that this was gifted to me by Hong from his stories. This exquisite little birdie used to move when you wound its spring. I used to play with it all the time, but it doesn't work anymore. I asked Brother if Hong could fix it, but he shook his head sadly. He said Hong was very far away, but when they meet again, he will ask her to repair it. I've remained broken ever since. Again, I'm assuming that we're going to meet Hong later, and that she'll be, like, possibly the love interest of Taishi Xiang. Or not. I don't know. The other thing is that she could have been killed, because a bunch of soldiers raided the city. Souls. King Japang said that most souls look like shadows or ball of light with no recognizable features. He said it was only like this because of the soul shaping spell. But still, no one would be able to touch me. She was only like this because of the soul shaping spell. Got it. Worse, he said the monsters will sense me and be drawn to wherever I am. What a strange state of existence. I wonder if I can walk through walls. I'll test it out. Elementals. So, elementals power the automata, but how? She's not explaining what they are, by the way. It's not like you can just insert them into it. Maybe it's like a power core, where the elementals has to keep running around to keep the automata powered up. That sounds a bit cruel, doesn't it? Well, how would she know about that? Like, do they have, like, hamster wheel powered technology in fantasy ancient China? And then, of course, automata. And yeah, this is like Full Metal Alchemist. Apparently the objective here is to put our sister's displaced soul to a robot. So it'll be like Full Metal Alchemist mode, where there's this robot going around that is like the cute little brother of a kid who already seems pretty young. There's a collapsed automata near the house belonging to King Japang, household in King Japang. In this house, like where this house is physically located, I'm a bit confused about, because it seems like we warped there using the scroll, but the surrounding environs look pretty similar. I think it's still on Mount whatever. He once told me to leave it alone, saying only a few people can control them properly. If you need an elemental to power them, then how did others before me do it? I'll have to ask King Japang about that sometime. Clockwork Kite. The Clockwork Kite is Hong's unique creation. It can shrink to a portable size, then expand and soar into the sky. Brother told me Hong wasn't very good at controlling it at first, often getting it stuck in trees, which he had to climb so they could retrieve it. That happened once, as far as we know. He said Hong planned to make a bigger one, capable of carrying a person into the sky. If we ever meet her, I hope she'll let me use it. And Sigil of Soul Shaping. Stroke by stroke, inch by inch, row by row, or better yet, inch Wait, hold on. How does it actually go? Slowly I turned, step by step, inch by inch, stroke by stroke. King taught brother how to draw the sigil of soul shaping. Though the Big Dipper is the backbone of the formation, combined with 2 hidden stars, Jofu and Yobi, and the power of the scroll, the sigil is capable of extracting a soul from a human's body. It can then embed the soul with an object, preventing degradation. It was with the sigil that the soul-shaping spell was cast on me. Now, we don't have anything for travels. So I think we're actually done. We've leveled up to 5 with the experience we gained from all this. And can now go save our game. And I don't know if we're quite at 30.
阿兄，我们要去哪儿？
Heading for a safe
去
point.
山里抓浮鬼。
山里那么大，我们要去哪儿找浮鬼？
Look, we're gonna follow the plot markers,
到
okay?
村口去问问王兄吧，他大概会知道些事儿。
I mean, her questions are logical if this was a real thing that was happening, but it's part of an RPG, so yeah, we're gonna follow the quest markers. So it looks like the people have survived. The people, you all right now? Are there? Are you right there, Ted? They're still alive, but barely. Okay. And it's not clear whether they can see our sister or not. Now they know her. She doesn't leave the house or go she doesn't go very far from the house, but I believe it is like she's met the people in town at least. So anyway, we're gonna wanna. The guy's wheezing. Wheezing, wheeze. So we'll save our game. I'll pick a manual slot to save, or I don't know why I bothered to pick a new slot, just in case. It gets in my mind. It's in case this video fails, but the last save slot is also from a video that failed. The recording didn't take, so whatever. All right. Hey, we hit just about the right video length too. So fingers crossed that this video takes. If so, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. If not, you're never gonna know what I said. So screw you guys. I hate you all. See you next time, guys.